Amen. But I trusted my mom, but I was not afraid to get in the car with her and ride through the streets of Philadelphia. And every now and then, someone, people like to play with you when you're driving, gonna act like they're gonna jump out in front of you or some old stuff like that. And my mom would say, "That's all right. They got little graves in the graveyard too, just like big ones."
All right.
Letting you know that it don't. It's not guaranteed that you're going to grow to be an adult tomorrow.
Amen.
Scriptures tell us today is the day of salvation.
Yes, Lord.
Yeah.
Behold, now is the accepted time. Why put off until tomorrow what desperately needs to be taken care of on today? Oh, that's okay, Moses. Tomorrow. And very interesting that from that point on, a recurring theme throughout the rest of the plagues was the word tomorrow. Tomorrow, God said, "I'm going to do this." Tomorrow, he relieved the people. Tomorrow. We got to be careful. Amen. There's not too many tomorrows. Amen. For people that are lost and in their sin. 1 Corinthians chapter 6, my last verses 18 through 20. The Apostle Paul again says, "Flee immorality." He's writing to the Corinthians. The Corinthian church was a very carnal church. In that era, there was a lot of sexual misconduct going on in the heathen temples. Fornication was a part of the worship system. Right? Even so that the Corinthian church was still plagued with sexual immorality. It was said that there was a young man there who was guilty of sleeping with his father's wife. Not his mother, but his father's wife.
My Lord.
The Lord said these things should not even be named once among the church. But Paul says, "Flee immorality." Get away from that foolishness. Every other sin that a man commits is outside the body. But the immoral man sins against his own body. If you were to go up a few verses and get the context of what the apostle was writing to the Corinthians about here, we discover that he's letting them know that when you go out and you join yourself to a prostitute, you become one with that prostitute. It's just an equation that God began back in the Garden of Eden. Two shall become one. And so the Lord is warning his people not to become one with those immoral people. Don't become one with those heathens who are still worshiping false gods and worshiping their false gods by sexual acts that were forbidden by Almighty God. Because when you do this, God warns in verse 18, you're sinning against your own body. Today, there are so many what we call STDs. And it seems that every so often a new one gets added to the bunch. And it seems as though these STDs are getting worse and worse.